a new review with Uto. Like and subscribe if you like it. In the last Bluelock chapter, we got left off with Isagi unlocking a new evolution. His new evolution is about improving his decision making and creating a smell of a goal. Correct me if I'm wrong. And in this new chapter, we will see what the rest of the 22 players has been up to, and finally we can see what kind of tasks and challenges they got from Ego. Let's get right into it. We start off this chapter with a beautiful panel of Henri cooking some delicious ass food for Ego. Yo guys, not on some weird shit. I'm glad we see some Henri screen time because she's one of the founders of bluelock, you hear me? So yeah, I'm glad she's getting some screen time, even if it's little. We see Henri voicing some concern because Ego has been pulling a lot of all-nighters. She also asks if he has been taking care of his body properly because the eye bags became way worse. Then Ego tells her that he's been working on these personalized trainings and letters for the 23 players, so that's why all the other work has been piled up. Yo guys, I think the other work is about the contracts of all the players that participated in the Neo Egoist League, because Isagi mentioned last chapter that bluelock is handling all of those contracts. Then Henri asks Ego the question we all had for the past week. What is he trying to make of those 23 players? What is he trying to do with them? We already know about Isagi with his decision making, but what about the others? Then Ego asks Henri a question. What kind of process do you follow when cooking food? Henri then answers that she thinks about what to eat and the necessary ingredients. Ego then says precisely, I'm thinking of a recipe to win a U20 World Cup. Guys, we gotta respect Ego's confidence, like he's fully confident they're going to win the World Cup, while they have to play against French, like Loki and Charles at some point. And then Ego says that they have like 14 days to find their missing ingredients. And now we go over to the players and the task they received from Ego. I will try to explain every task they got and give my insight to them, but I'm not gonna claim it's 100% correct, it's only like a theory. First we got Barrow. Barrow got a letter from Ego that mentions that if he wants to be king again, then he has to go to the place mentioned in the letter. Then he arrives at a university where he got welcomed by American football players. So why does Ego want Barrow to play American football? Because what are Barrow's weapons? It's physicality, strength and also his charging. So by playing American football, he will be able to buff his physicality more and learn how to use it way better. So now we move over to Bachira. Bachira is at the grade school. He gets welcomed by a lot of grade school students that are excited to see him because they've all seen him on Bluelock TV and they all want him to teach them football. So what is Bachira's task? The letter mentions to learn by teaching, so I think it's because Bachira has been dribbling of pure instinct called the monster the whole entire series. But by teaching the kids his dribbling style, he'll be able to actualize and vocalize his plays way better. And now we move on to our speedy boy Sigiri. Alright, I don't have much to say for Sigiri. Ego gave me a task to forget about his legs and become a fish. So that means his training for the 2 weeks is to swim and build up his stamina. Because if you remember correctly, during the Bluelock vs Japan arc that Sigiri was struggling with his stamina, so that's why his training is long and hard to be able to endure his speed. Let's move on to Kunigame. Also not much to say, we see here that he's doing some boxing or MMA training to train his physicality as well, to become a combat warrior. So I think the reason why Ego gave him this kind of training so that he can use his physicality more and apply fighting concepts to his football. So now Shido, it's kind of funny because he can just do whatever he wants. But I think there's an underlying reason because we all know Shido is a crazy and wild person. So him doing all of these things is going to boost his wild and carefree type of playstyle. So now we move on to our boy of destruction, Rin. I'm not so sure about his task because here it says he has to reflect on his ego once more and that his desire should not rely on pure destruction. So I think he's meditating to make his ego more calm and more patient. So now we got our heartbroken boy Ryo. He's running on the treadmill but he's not able to focus because he's still thinking about Nagi. Because he thought they were always going to be together. But he gets interrupted by his attendant Grant and she's giving Ego's letter to Ryo. Ego tells him that he needs to become Bluelock's special soldier and that he must become master of copies. So Ryo is wondering why he got that task. But the letter also contains a SD card with recordings of specific plays by other players. Not gonna lie guys, this is kinda funny. So Ego wants Ryo to become like Kisei from Kuroko no Basket. For those that don't know who Kisei is a character from Kuroko no Basket that also copies plays from other players. Then his attendant says it's impossible to complete the task, but Ryo replies that he doesn't need his brains, just his body, and that he'll ace the homework to become number 1. Now we're getting a nice sneak peek of the remaining players and their tasks. Here we got Otoya doing some type of virtual training. I think it's to replicate certain football situations. Karasu is doing some type of physical training as well and training his stamina. Yora is doing some parkouring throughout the city. I think it's to make him more flexible. Here we got Raiti doing some type of wrestling to work on his core strength and man marking. Ari is doing some type of martial arts, but I'm not sure why, so I'm skipping him. Then we got our boy Sendo. He got sent to the trenches, bruh. What did he do to deserve this shit? Alright, let's stop joking. I think he's doing some military training to improve his aim and killer instinct. Then we got Nico doing some physical training. I'm not sure about Hiyori. He's playing some games to improve his eye coordination, I think, because eye coordination is important in gaming, so he can improve his passing lanes and passing style. I think Kagamaru is playing some baseball to improve his reaction speed and his catching abilities. I'm not really sure about Tsukimiya as well. He's doing some fencing or swordplay to increase his accuracy, I think. Now we got Aiku. Most likely he's studying some football tactics and some leadership skills. Lastly we got Santetsu doing some track and fields to improve his speed. Ego is saying when they meet again with the instincts intact, the chemical reaction of the number ones of 23 players will create a new blue lock fusion. So my thoughts of this chapter. Let's be honest guys, they're doing everything except for playing football. We're never beating the allegations of blue lock being everything except football. And I think this chapter was really nice because we got some insights of everyone's training, their tasks they got from Ego. Also the next chapter is called Hello. So I think it's gonna be like a new introduction of a new player, or we're gonna get an old character back. I think it's gonna be Sei Itoshi because we haven't seen him for years. So it's either gonna be Sei Itoshi or it's gonna be a new character. Alright guys, we've reached the end of the video. If you liked the video, like the video. If you're new, subscribe to my channel, and also I'll see you guys later.